Well, this is my first piece of marquetry for a competition, and the drawing that you can see that I'm working to is something that I was given. It's not my particular choice, but there was several of us given the same drawing, and it was going to be judged on how that was interpreted. And I think the biggest thing that I found was a problem was actually choosing the materials in the first place. I found that my stock of veneers, I didn't have any colours, so it was decided to do it all with the different browns and to try and keep it natural. I did have one or two colours, but it just didn't seem right to bring those colours into the equation. And I was really pleased actually at the end with the different choice. Now, what you're seeing here is the process I went through to do this. Made several mistakes, like this gluing up situation here, this peeling up all the time. But not only that, even it goes back to the first part of choosing the materials. The background board that I used, the white piece, was too small, and therefore when I glued it up like I have just here, it didn't quite fit centrally, so I was forced then to put a border around the outside, and you'll see me putting the border on, which I really didn't want to do because I thought that that would make it look heavy. And I still think actually when I look at this, it does look heavy at the end of it, but it looks okay, and I was able to get away with it. One of the other mistakes I made with the scrapers, because I love scrapers, I scraped away too much, and you'll see top right hand side, you can just see that you're starting to see the colour of the board behind the backing board come through. Well, again, I stopped and sealed it with a sealer as soon as possible once I'd cleaned it, so I didn't have to keep cleaning it. And by cutting off the edges and putting the border on, I was able to disguise that and get rid of quite a lot of it. So border's going on now. Now, I have this technique which I sort of developed. I don't know how many other people do it, but I don't wait for the glue to go off. I actually put it on wet, as you can see here, and iron it on, and I'm straight on to the next piece. I've had great success with that. It just means that I can continually work as I go along. Yes, it is a little bit messy, but it works. It works really, really well. It enables continuous work all the time. And if you do make a mistake, it's not gone off enough that you can't just take it off again and put it back on. But you have to be careful. You can see here, as I'm just about to cut this edges with the veneer saw that I use when I do the back, you have to make sure that you scrape away any of the slightly wet glue, because it will jam up your tools, etc. So generally speaking, I find I am finding, I should say, that's definitely the way to go. Now, when I put this back piece on, I realise that I make a mistake. So you can see I do a little bit of a repair, and that's the repair just going in there, and it's just fantastic. I'm learning so much. Hopefully I'm going to be able to take all this experience forward and do some furniture. So at the moment, I'm not too sure on the journey. I don't know if many of you know that I came from making stringed instruments to doing this, and the reason I started to do this was because I wanted to see how it was done, so I could probably start to use some of this inlay into some of the stringed instruments that I'm making. So once I've scraped all this off, I apply 3 or 4 coats of a quick setting varnish, and the varnish that I'm using is cellulose varnish, and it goes off really, really quickly, so that you can get quite a few coats on quickly. Then I just scrape it off, rub it down. It's all just put on by a paintbrush. Scrape it off, rub it down, and away you go.